Rob?
Hey! Nice. We finally
Nice
got
one.
it. Awesome.
What's up, everyone?
Hellos. Welcome to China on the Internet. I'm one of your hosts, Rob Chen.
I'm Christina Chen. And we
are
not related.
It was good. How's it going?
I'm good. How are you? 早上好.
早上好. It's the morning, 9:35 a.m. in New York Coastal Time. Where are you guys at?
Yeah, let us know where you are.
Where are you guys at?
Yeah.
Probably from all over the world.
We're in the
Chinese.
great city of New York City.
Mm-hmm.
We were able to do some fun stuff this weekend.
Wait, well, what'd you do this weekend?
This weekend, I was actually up in Boston.
Oh.
I don't know why I said that. Now that I think about it. No, I meant yesterday, but yesterday was Monday.
Yeah. Yesterday was Monday.
I don't know, it feels like a Monday today.
Yeah, does it feel like a Monday?
Kind of feels like a Monday.
Probably because we woke up a little bit earlier,
Yeah.
maybe. Probably. Yeah.
Anyway, we got some cool. What did you do this weekend?
I just shot my web series.
Yeah.
I'm doing a web series right now, so we just shot it all weekend.
Should link that in the comments.
I'll link it at some point.
Yeah.
When we have the YouTube link out, we definitely will. But, and you were up in Boston. You were doing
I was doing a 24-hour play festival.
24-hour play festival.
Yeah, shout out Fresh Ink Theater. It was a fun time.
Shout out to Fresh Ink Theater.
Yeah, we got a request from Maya in the comments to
What's good, Maya?
To watch one of Niki's videos.
Niki,
and
my
talk
girl.
about it. So before we watch that, it took us a while to decide which one we want to watch because there are so many good ones.
Yes.
We wish there was a new video out for her new stuff for Low Key, but there's only like a visualizer. It's not really a real video. So we're going to watch one of her older ones, Vintage, but looks cool. I haven't watched it all the way through yet. I want it to be a surprise.
Yeah, I actually haven't watched that music video either. So
cool.
For both of us, it'll be a first time.
So
yeah.
For those of you who don't know, Niki is part of 88Rising. She's an R&B singer, pop singer. She's originally from Indonesia.
Yes.
I believe.
Rich Brian's also from Indonesia as well.
And which is super awesome. I believe Jakarta.
Yeah. I think Jakarta.
Her voice is literally perfect.
It's butter.
It's incredible.
So cool. And she's only 19 too.
Yeah, she's very young. Very young. She's great vibe. Looks like she's super fun to hang out with. Honestly, I follow her on Instagram.
Yeah, same. She went through a lot.
She plays ukulele, guitar. What do you mean?
She went through a lot in the past year. Yeah, her mom died.
Oh no.
Yeah, so
I didn't know that.
It was a whole. Yeah, she had to go through a lot.
Wow.
So
that's rough. Yeah, I love to.
Stay strong, Niki.
Damn.
You know. She's still killing it.
Yeah. The first song I ever heard of Niki was "See You Never."
See You Never.
Yeah.
Cool.
My friend made me a playlist, and it was on there, and I could not stop listening to it.
Wow.
It's such a bop.
It is a bop.
Yeah.
Well, Niki's a bop.
Yeah, she is. So let's watch. Where is it?
Where is it?
Vintage. Here it is.
Vintage by Niki.
Can't wait. It already looks like fun summer vibes. Ready? Oh, we had a club. Looks like LA.
Is it LA?
I don't know. Her voice, like how?
I know. Wow, those earrings.
This is like Southern California, like weekend,
I could
night
totally
party
see that.
vibes.
Yeah. Her voice is just so good.
Oh,
Cute.
look at their outfits. Ooh. So this is like she's like missing like an old flame, right? Like you and me were vintage. I think so.
Oh,
she's like.
Oh, see, I thought it was more like we're classic.
Oh.
Like you and me were vintage.
Well, she was saying like they were apart for a little bit.
But then they're together.
She said, "Oh, did you hear that?"
Can't wait till I see you never.
No, she said, can't believe I once said see you never. Which means...
Shout out to her previous song. I didn't catch that until you said it.
So this song is about the same person.
The same person, but...
But she was pretty firm that she was going to be like, see you never.
But you know how many times like we say that?
Yeah, but it was really like, she was like, I hope your mom was proud she raised a bleep for a son. And she was like, and when you're chilly in December, just remember that I'll be seeing you never. It's like an iconic line.
See you next type of deal.
But now she's like, JK. Okay, Niki.
Okay, Niki.
You do you.
Yeah. This is cute.
Who's that? Is she an actor? She looks familiar.
Oh.
This couple, love their hair.
Yeah, I love their hair. And the melanin. I'm gonna handle you with care like an antique. Oh. Hey, he's tutting. For old time's sake, old time memories, feel like vintage.
So she's getting back together with her ex.
Maybe it's getting back with her ex.
This actually kind of makes me miss California.
This definitely has that California vibe.
Yeah, I
like
mean palm trees. Hello.
Palm trees, but there's palm trees in so many other countries and
Florida,
states.
I guess,
you know.
Yeah. It's definitely not New York though.
For some reason, I do feel like it is in California. Or
I feel like
Florida,
this video
though.
was shot in two different, like the night and then during the day, obviously. But I feel like, oh, that's it. I want it to keep going. Oh, it's a short, cute video. We love that.
Gotta love Niki.
Yeah,
Always
I feel
love Niki.
there was like the day, like the fun party vibes in the sun, and then like the
nighttime,
like right out in the club, getting it on.
The club that is outside.
The outdoor club, yeah.
Yeah.
Was that outdoor?
It was all outside.
Oh.
The whole thing was outside, if I wasn't mistaken.
Gotcha. Wow.
Yeah. That was nice. I have never seen that music video
neither.
actually. I've listened to the songs on like Spotify, but I haven't checked out the music video. I'm glad I did.
Yeah, that makes me want it to be the weekend again. That was
already
totally like big weekend vibes. I know it's only
Tuesday.
Weekend
vibes. Summer weekend vibes. Actually, I feel like the entire 88 Rising album, Midsummer Madness, is a great summer jam.
I need to watch more of those videos. I've listened to the music.
They have fire music videos too. It's a whole entertainment company. It's not just like music. They do visuals. So yeah, they're cool. So Mia, was it
Maya?
Maya? Sorry, Maya, my bad. But thank you for the recommendation.
Thanks for the rec.
And for anybody else who's watching, if there's anything else you want us to react to talk about, you let us know in the comments. You send us a message, and also follow us. Follow us on all the social media platforms. CHINOSITY News, CHINOSITY News, and CHINOSITY in general. We will be posting these episodes every Wednesday, so stay tuned for all of that. And so there's other thing that I want to ask you about, actually.
Okay, ask me.
Because we were supposed to coordinate something yesterday.
Well, we did coordinate it.
Okay.
I scrolled back in the messages.
I
did say 7:30.
Yes. Pretty much, both of us were okay. We need to watch the movie The Farewell with Awkwafina in it because it just released this past weekend. There was a lot of hype about it, and so we planned to watch it together with your mom too. And then I just got there earlier, and I was like, you know what, I can just watch it on my own.
Did you think it was supposed to be 6:30, or you just got there early? Regardless.
I'm just gonna say I got there early.
We watched it separately.
Yeah. We watched it separately.
Which is fine. So. It was my mom's birthday yesterday.
Shanra Kwaila.
Yeah, Shanra Kwaila, Mama. Happy birthday.
Yes.
We watched it together. It was very interesting experience watching it with my mom, who's American.
Yeah.
But she's lived in China for now, like most of her life, because she moved there when this is her 30-year anniversary of moving to China.
That's crazy.
Yeah, she was 22 when she moved.
Wow.
I just told you how old my mom is. Anyway, yeah.
She won't care.
She's young and free.
Yeah, she's still young and free. Wow. What you I'm just gonna dive right into it then.
Yeah.
What'd you think of the movie?
It was not what I expected it to be. I didn't expect it to be so delightful and funny.
It's delightful.
Just full of. I also did not expect so much of it to be in Mandarin.
Yeah, there's actually a good chunk of it in Mandarin. I'll say like 50. It seemed like 50-50.
And they
even
were
a little bit
English,
more.
And it was
Mandarin.
interesting watching the English subtitles and seeing
hearing
what the translation was for American audiences because it wasn't the literal translation.
Yeah.
Like if they were saying like a figure of speech in Chinese, it would just translate to something else in English. Like what was that? There was something that the grandma said like you know the Mandarin phrase like 你怎么 like how are you going to?
How can you do this?
Yeah.
You know?
But it's not literally like how are you going to do this? It translates more to like you can't do this.
Yeah,
it's like a figure of speech.
It's more
like,
a figure of speech, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like there are certain words that are interesting, I guess, phrasing-wise. I mean, your Mandarin's like way better than mine. But I still
I grew
like.
up in China.
Yeah. She grew up in China.
Yeah.
She's Chinese, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you could still understand it, right?
I understood kind of it. Like, I actually tried not to look at the subtitles as much.
Me too, because it's
just so I could watch it fully and like try to like just listen to the Mandarin. But it actually was a little hard to understand, specifically Awkwafina's Mandarin sometimes, because she grew up in the States and she's kind of like me, like in ABC, and she's half Chinese, half Korean, so she definitely had an accent when she spoke Mandarin, which still works as
it was part of the story.
It's part of the story, and it works 100%. It works with the character
because she was like, like 对不起，我的中文不好.
Yeah, 对不起, and I feel like I see that all the time when I'm like in China, so it's like the same thing, and I'm like, damn.
What's interesting too is the way she said 奶奶, because 奶奶is, that's how you say it, and she would say like 奶奶.
Like milk.
Like, what?
Milk.
牛奶.
Oh, that's 牛奶.
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 Yeah.
奶奶.
奶奶. Yeah.
奶奶.
It's the same character twice. 奶奶. It's just the tones are different.
Tones are different.
But it was interesting how she said it. It was definitely the American, the Western, like accent.
Yeah. So
I thought that was super interesting. I don't know if Awkwafina actually does speak Mandarin in real life. I feel like she knows words, but I think she had to, really work hard.
Oh, definitely.
Even though the Mandarin is supposed to be with like an American accent, I think she still had to work to get the flow of, because speaking Mandarin, every word is one syllable, but you need to, there is a flow to the way.
There's a flow, there's a cadence to it, intention. Yeah. And I will say, like, as a actor who does act in like different languages, it's really, really hard. Yes. Especially if you're acting in the language that is not your dominant language, that's not your primary language. So I acted in like a short film last year in Mandarin, and it was very, very difficult. And the director was like, okay, yeah, free range in a sense of like, we can make your character like Asian American, but he has to speak Mandarin. Yeah. And I worked really, really hard just so I could get the cadence down. Like my accent was still really, really bad.
It's also hard if you can't read it, because
I couldn't read it.
Yeah,
either.
Because when I read Mandarin, the pinging is helpful sometimes, but if it's sometimes I get scripts for auditions and like it'll just be the pinging without the characters, and that messes me up because I don't know what actual word it is. I just know what it sounds like, and the context isn't there for me, because you could say like what's a word like ji? The word ji means chicken, but it also means machine. And it's spelled in pinging, and it's phonetically, it's the exact same, right?
It is.
Like J-I with Yisheng. But if you have the character, then I could know. So like obviously in context, like shouji, okay, that's a cell phone.
Yeah.
Or like ji kwar, okay, chicken nuggets. Like I can, like if it, in the context.
In context it works, but by itself.
But by
like,
itself,
what?
so it is difficult. So I'm just really curious how she.
Yeah, I'm curious about her process.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
We were watching this interview before we did this about her. We can link it so you can watch it. But they're discussing how Awkwafina came upon to Farewell, because before she was doing more ensemble pieces like Crazy Rich Asians, Ocean's 8. And she was, I think in this interview, she says this movie was just it hit really, like, it was really personal for her, so she really wanted to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you cry?
I teared up at several different parts of the movie.
Wow.
So wait, let's backpedal. If you haven't seen The Farewell yet, I believe today is your last day to see it in New York City now. Because it's preview mode.
There's specific screenings.
Yeah. And then depending how it does in the box office, it'll like, I think it's going to Boston and LA this weekend.
Yeah, there's a couple.
It's going to other places.
If you follow The Farewell on Instagram, they actually have a whole list of cities.
And Awkwafina too.
And Awkwafina, she posts all that. So it's going to be screening in LA, Boston, Chicago. Yeah. I think Austin, Texas as well.
Probably.
A couple of places. So, but New York was there. New York had a screening this past weekend, and fun little fact, there's
a pre-screening too.
There's a pre-screening and. There was a little manhole that just appeared in the city, which caused a power outage. You were away for this, but there was a whole power outage in Manhattan, and
did that affect it?
So and Awkwafina made a post about it. It was cool because she made a post about it. She was like, "Hey, it's crazy that like even though we had a power outage, people showed up to watch the screening and stuff like that. Like people came out to support. Like sorry that there was like a power outage, but like there was." People that came to support and everything for the whole movie. Wow. Yeah.
Oh.
So.
Well, you saw. I saw it at the AMC theater. Yeah. Also, today's Tuesday. Well, this podcast will come out on Wednesday, so it'll be too late. But for the future, AMC does $5 Tuesdays.
Wait,
so you can see a movie for $5 on Tuesdays.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, you just have to have an AMC account, but it's free to sign up. You don't have to have like the A-list. I know, right? I thought you had to have like a special membership. Anyway, that's how you should see movies if you're on a budge, because you still want to, pay for a ticket to support the box office, but you also need to not spend $30 at the theater.
Or if you're like me and you're kind of lame and you're like me from the 10 years ago, you would just torrent that.
Yeah, but we gotta support. You gotta
but
support
we gotta
the box
support,
office.
you know. For that, you support.
Anyway, so if you don't have the chance to see The Farewell before it leaves theaters, Billy is Awkwafina's character. She's Chinese American, lives in New York City.
Yeah.
She's about 30 years old, doesn't live with her parents anymore. She finds out her grandmother is dying.
Yeah, she has like stage 4 lung cancer.
Has about a couple months to live. That's the diagnosis. So they go back. Well, she is originally not going back to China. Originally, it's just her parents.
Yeah,
her parents were like, "You should not go because you're gonna be sad."
Yeah,
and
you'll just show your emotions too much. And well, pretty much like the farewell is also the reason why they're going back to China is because they made a lie. They made a lie that like, oh, it's her cousin's wedding, so that's why we got all the family together. For this wedding, when in reality it's not for the wedding, it's for the grandma because she's about to die. So they want to get everybody, because their family's from America, her uncle, like their side of the family, like they moved to Japan, and then everybody else stayed in China. So now it's like the first time in 25 years that everybody like came back together. Crazy. And this is based off of like a true lie. Like
That's
this
so funny
actually happened.
Yeah, and the movie starts as based on an actual lie. Well, because the director Lulu Wang.
Yeah. It's
her story.
It's her story, which I think is fantastic. Yeah.
I actually think Lulu and Awkwafina kind of look like they could be sisters or cousins.
Could they?
I feel like they look kind of similar.
Think so?
Yeah, maybe it's like their hair and how they both part their hair.
Oh yeah,
like they have
right there.
Eyebrows,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
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 Like they look like they
picture,
could be family, which is cool. Yeah. So the movie and then centers around Awkwafina, her character Billy, just trying to come to terms with that this is okay and this is fine and this is an acceptable way to say goodbye, even though the grandmother doesn't know she's dying.
Yeah.
Basically, the grandmother's sister is the one who speaks with the doctors and gets the diagnosis, but then tells her sister she's fine. Yeah. Which is really that first scene also got me already when the sister was like, you may sure.
Yeah, you may sure. It's just benign. Like it's not like.
And she was like, "You're fine." And like, how do you? And like, I was similar. I was thinking I think what's cool about this movie is that people are going to come out of it thinking, "Wow, I totally see why they did that," or "How did they do that?" And that's what's cool because that's the difference between two cultures, which is what her uncle says. She's like, in America, your life is for you. You live your life for yourself. But in China, your life is for other people.
Yeah.
Like, your life is
greater.
Your family.
Yeah,
it's great. It's not just about you.
That is a big difference.
Yeah.
I feel,
and
East
that
and West.
Because Billy is saying, isn't it wrong that we're not telling her? Like, what if she wants to say goodbyes? What if she wants to do something? And their reason is no, because then she'll just be sad about her death and won't be able to focus on anything else. And if we're all here to celebrate with her, celebrate this other, even if it's a different event, she still gets to see us all one last time, and it's an unclouded experience for her.
And she won't feel sad.
And she won't feel sad.
Yeah.
And death is such a taboo subject too in China.
Taboo.
You just don't. It's not good luck to talk about it.
You don't talk about it.
Yeah.
Every time I had like a family member or somebody close to me like pass away, it's every time my family's always like,
or even like leading up to
it, or I just mention it, like or even if I were to say but what if like. Even if I were, if it was even me, hypothetically speaking, I go to the road, don't worry, it's not going to die or anything like that. They're always like, don't even say that, don't say that. It's terrible, don't say that. Yeah. It's just bad luck, bad juju, bad feng shui. I'm like, okay. Yeah. When my grandma passed away, there was like certain things I couldn't even do. Like I couldn't play like loud music or something. She's like, no, it's going to be bad because then her spirit is like unsettled and everything like that. Like,
what was interesting was that, so Billy's grandfather had previously died. Yeah. And she wasn't even allowed to go to the funeral because she was in school, and the parents decided for her, this is what's best for you. And she was younger at the time. So, but it was just an interesting, because here in the States, if a grandparent or family member passes away, all your professors, you'd email them like, I have a family emergency. And they're like, totally, go, do your thing, come back.
They get it.
But because they were like, oh, he would have wanted you to stay in school, and so that was interesting. It was really interesting to see the dichotomy of like her being raised in America and her being Chinese, and how those two were coming together and how she was struggling with it.
It's almost as though it's like a reverse immigrant story.
Yeah. Do you know what I really connected with? So when she was checking into the hotel, and the hotel guy was like, "Hey, 我问你，你觉得美国好还是中国好?" Yeah. And she's like, which is basically like, do you think living in China is better or America's better? Yeah. And the way he asked it with such earnest curiosity was so spot on, because every time I would go home from the airport in Beijing in a taxi with my parents, it's just like I can so clearly see this happening so many times in my mind. You see the taxi driver driving, and he's like looking in the rearview mirror at me, at my mom, at my dad, and like connecting the dots, like, okay, like mixed family, got it. Yeah. And he's like, "Hey, 你的中文真好." Like your Chinese is so good. And then they would ask me, like, do you, like, because we were coming back from the States from our summer vacation. Word. And then we would tell them that we lived in Beijing. And he's like, well, do you like living in Beijing or do you like living in America? And then they would be so confused by my dad, because he married my mom and became a U.S. citizen, and now he lives in China again. And like, well, why don't you live in America? Like almost as if like you made it out. Yeah. Like you married an American woman. Like why aren't you living in America? Like, isn't it? Don't you think it's better?
The promised land.
Yeah, and that's what the hotel guy is saying to Awkwafina, right? Yeah. He's like, genuinely, he's like, but you must love America, right? Yeah. Isn't it so curious?
I love that. I love that they had that little scene in there. Yeah. On top of which, it also shows, like, I love the nuanced behaviors throughout. There's so many moments of that, but you pointed out a very specific moment. And part of it is also, like, as an American, like, I do find that, like, more Chinese people tend to be more, I wouldn't say nosy, but they're genuinely curious about your life. So they ask you a ton of questions, even personal questions. They don't find it personal. They just see, but.
Or it is personal, but it's not rude, because you're showing that you care, and you're showing that it's genuine curiosity.
They will even ask you how much money you make. Yeah.
Well, and that seems like normal. They're not living in Beijing. They're living in like the northeast of China. Mm-hmm.
Do you remember what city it was? I forgot what city.
It starts with a CH.
Yeah, I just remember.
Chung something. It's not Chengdu. We should look that up.
It's not Chengdu.
Can you type? My hands can't reach it.
Fine, I'll type.
And then her response is, "It's different." 不一样. And that's totally what I would say too. Yeah. You have to type in like farewell movie, because people are gonna He typed in location for farewell into Google.
Where is it?
It said in the Northeast.
Right here it just says it's from China.
Well, it's a big country.
Changchun?
Changchun, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. It was in June 2018, 24 days. Actually, I remember because Awkwafina was like posting on her Instagram that she was in China, and I was like, come to Beijing.
Yeah.
But, yeah. So that was an interesting part.
I just loved all these little nuances too. There's like, you know what I also love too?
What?
There's, this is spoiling too much of these things. I don't want to spoil it for those who haven't seen it and who are going to see it. But I will say that the elements of it is really nice. I feel like if you're learning Chinese, if you're not Chinese and you want to learn more about the culture, I actually feel like this movie is really, really good. Is a good lens from an outsider looking in to what are some of the nuanced stuff with communication between Chinese people. As well as like certain things that they do talk about. For example, there'll be like a dinner shot. There's like a whole dinner scene.
So many dinner scenes.
A couple of dinner scenes, which, and I know we talked about it before, like how like these like new Asian and Asian American movies like definitely feature like food as like a big way to like communicate certain ideas across. So having this dinner scene, it kind of reminded me in a way of have you seen Orange County?
No. Is that a movie?
It's a movie. Actually, it's a Orange County. Oh, okay. I'm just embarrassing myself. I might just like have completely messed up a movie or name.
What's the movie?
It's with Meryl Streep. Oh, why is it tip on my tongue? It's not Orange.
Well, Meryl Streep was in a lot of movies because she's, iconic.
Oh no, it wasn't Orange County. I'm a terrible actor for not even knowing that. August Osage County. I know. That's it. Why did I say Orange County? August Osage County. Oh, all my acting teachers are probably gonna slap me in the face for just messing that up.
Do you know why you thought that though? Because there's a show called The OC.
Yeah, I know, called Orange County.
I was gonna say we should just cut this part out, but we have to keep it.
Yeah, I know. I messed up. Okay.
I'm gonna start calling August Osage County by Tracy Letts, right?
By Tracy Letts. Yeah,
I'm gonna start calling it. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm done. I'm done. Okay.
All good. Oh,
wait. Is there a movie version of that play?
Yeah, with Meryl Streep
How
and Julia Roberts.
How have I not seen it?
It got nominated for
When did that movie come out?
2008, I believe.
What?
Yeah, I believe it came out in 2008.
Anyways, I think maybe because I studied the play after 2008, so maybe that's why I didn't know.
I mean, I actually didn't watch the movie. I only have seen the play and I've read it.
I've only read the play. I haven't seen it.
But
it's
they have
phenomenal.
It's a great play, and they have a dinner scene in there where they end up arguing. And I remember there's this one specific scene in The Farewell where it's Awkwafina's family from America, and then they're talking to her family that's still in China.
The mom and the sister-in-law.
And they're talking about the difference between America and China. Like, oh hey, why don't your daughter stay in China? And then it's okay. Well, why are you telling your son to go to college in America? Like, there's a lot of a lot of Chinese parents who will send their kids to America for education, and then they want them to come back afterwards. But it's okay. Well, what if your kid doesn't come back?
So and the mom's like, well, he will come back.
Well, he will come back. But what if he doesn't? And all that stuff. So it's I found that specific scene very interesting because I just had a whole conversation with that with my uncle. And we're sitting at a dinner table. It always happens in a dinner table where we talk about China. And I would talk about something political. Maybe I can't mention all this stuff on social media and stuff, but I don't really care too much about it. I don't think we should be afraid to say certain things about politics and about China. But long story short, I just had a whole conversation about what does China have? Is Tibet considered China? Is Taiwan considered China? And all that stuff. And ended up being a very in-depth conversation about it. And it was very much reflected in this movie as well. That difference between that Western and Eastern philosophy, as well as how do they perceive China? How do they perceive America? Because they were well, how long does it take to make $1 million in America? I was it takes a very long time. I was really? It takes a long time? You could get it pretty quickly here. So it's so interesting to see those two. And
I really thought Awkwafina's mom in the movie was a phenomenal actor.
I loved both her mom and her uncle.
Yes.
Both of them.
I mean, everybody was really great. Especially the grandma, too.
I love the grandma.
It's also, everyone's calling her a breakout star. I'm like, this woman's been around. She just is. It's her. Okay. It's her American film debut. Mm-hmm. But she's been around. She's done so much stuff in China, like soap operas and movies.
I've seen her face.
Yeah, she started acting when she was 16 years old. This is not a breakout role for her, and I get it. Like the Variety and like Hollywood Reporter are like all saying that it's a break, but like because it's their American film debut.
Yeah.
But also, I'm not so sure that this is an American film, or that it's a Chinese film. I think Lulu Wang had a lot of
This is a mix.
She had a lot of trouble getting it picked up because people were like, well, is this an American film or is this a Chinese film? And she's like, why does it have to be one way or the other? And I think that's why it's so cool that it's bilingual. It's truly a bilingual film. It
really is bilingual.
I wonder if they're going to screen it in China, which I hope they do, if they'll have English subtitles for Chinese Mandarin subtitles for the English dialogue. Because in the movie last night, I noticed that there were English subtitles for the Mandarin parts, but there weren't subtitles for the English. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if that's just because we're in the States, but like
could be.
I feel like that also kind of limits who can see the movie, right?
It does.
Because then Chinese speakers will understand the Chinese parts, but they're not going to understand the parts spoken in English.
Mm-hmm. No, that's very true. I mean, I hope that they are planning on having like a release in in like China,
or like adding other subtitles for the English parts.
Yeah, I hope they do. Cool. I hope they do. I mean, it got picked up and like it is being distributed and everything. Yeah. I hope they do. Yeah, I really hope they do.
Yeah. One interesting part was when they went to the grandfather's grave and they were, like giving the fruit and the flowers.
Yeah, and the bowing.
And that totally, every Chinese New Year I would go to Ningxia where my dad is from, like the Ohio of China, basically, like Midwest, and we would go to like our ancestors' graves and like burn fake money and burn oranges, and you have to peel the oranges and you have to and it's so funny when they're like, don't give him a cigarette, he quit. It's like he's dead. It was such a delightful movie.
That was really delightful. It really reflected. I saw so much of my family in it. I really did. Like I freaking cried my eyes out at one point.
I got really emotional when they were finally leaving China and the grandma was waving at them. Are you gonna? Just the way she was waving too, Yeah,
that was.
And also during the wedding reception, when the uncle was giving his speech towards his mom.
Dang.
But then they got the awkward clap going, which was just cinematic gold.
It's cinematic gold.
Also, that bird game the drinking game.
Oh yeah, it's a chicken game. Something.
No, because it was something fei到他的杯. So it's like fei means fly and bei means cup. So fly and cup rhyme in Mandarin. So it's like you say your name. So I would say like Mei Ping is my Chinese name. So I'd be like Mei Ping Fei, Fei Dao robbed a bay, and then you would robbed a bay or rob something, and then Fei Dao someone else's bay. And if you mess up, then you drink. And then the cousin drink. But he's getting married and kept drinking because he kept losing, but then he kept drinking because he was sad.
Yeah. He was just sad that because everybody knew.
Because everyone knew that wedding is a show for the... Yeah. They're not actually getting married.
Oh, you know what else I found? I was like, actually kind of cool.
What?
Was that the cousin ended up marrying
Japanese girl?
A Japanese girl.
Yeah.
I just thought... Aiko. I just thought that was really cool. Because it was just... And that the grandma was there and was just...
Well, they live in Japan.
They met in Japan, They met in Japan, but
only 3 months ago.
Yeah, they're dating for 3 months. They're like, okay, we're going to plan this fake wedding for them.
And then they're like, the grandma's like, tell everyone that you've known each other for 6 months. And the mom was like, why 6 months? Make it a year.
It was so like, I was like, yo, this is so Chinese. Like, there's a whole culture of just Asian people of like saving face. Like a big one is saving face. Like you want to make sure that your reputation is good, that you don't dishonor your family name. So if you're only dating for 3 months and you're getting married, it's kind of
people assume that someone is
someone got knocked up maybe.
Yeah. It's not the case.
Yeah, it's not the case for them, but still like they want to make sure that they're still their family's still like seen well.
I would have loved to seen her family interact. Like I feel like it maybe would have been too much storyline, but I also would have loved to see it. I would love to, because the movie was only like 90 minutes.
Yeah, it was like
it was a short.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you know what was the theme of the bird and the bird flying away?
Yeah.
And at the end, when all the birds fly away.
Yeah.
I was like,
the bird.
Did she?
At first, I was like,
We're not going to tell you. You have to go see it. We're actually not going to spoil it. But there's this moment where, so Billy's grandma is teaching her like the Chinese aerobics, and she's like, ha! Ha! And then finally, when she's back in New York, she does it herself because she's thinking of her grandma. And then it cuts back to China, and all the birds fly away. And it was I would say it was a cathartic moment.
Yeah, it really did. You know what? Throughout the entire movie, this is why Lulu Wang, you know, like you, great cinematographer for that, great director for that. A lot of it,
who was the cinematographer?
I felt like so the film, how they made the film, I felt tight at certain points. Like I felt like what they're feeling.
I was there.
I felt like I was holding a lot of weight in certain points when I was watching it, and I think a lot of it had to do with the cinematography of it. It definitely reminded me of Wong Kar-wai style. Anna
Francesca Solano,
who was the DP. But the cinematography of it, very much like Wong Kar-wai, In the Mood for Love, that type of style. If you haven't seen that movie either, I highly recommend that movie. It's called In the Mood for Love. It's by Wong Kar-wai. It was released in 1999/2000. It's an old Hong Kong movie. Cinematography is great. Barry Jenkins, who created Moonlight, was inspired by In the Mood for Love, and so yeah, it's just great. The just cinematography and the angles and how they frame things and they keep it rolling, so you see them like doing certain jokes. There's not like quick cuts.
Yeah,
it's a lot more like what's happening in this frame and the emotions that these characters feel and their interactions in this one single frame, and you feel a lot of it happening in it. And it's that's why I cried my eyes out at this one point when they're leaving, just because it's just this one shot of of the grandma and the granddaughter. And I was like, wow.
Also, in the beginning of the movie, when she's on the train and she hasn't decided to go to China yet, and the train passes by and she sees an old Chinese woman across the tracks.
Yeah.
And it almost looks like her. That happens to me all the time in New York on the subway. I'll see someone and I'm like, that looks like someone I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was great.
Cool thing about this movie is that its opening weekend made over 300 million in 4 theaters on an average of 87,000.
I think you got the digits wrong.
What?
I don't think it's 300 million.
Oh, sorry, 300,000.
300,000. I was like 300 million.
Sorry,
is this a Marvel movie right now?
It's such a small screen. 300,000. Yeah. 87,000 per venue.
Wow.
So it's the best average of 2019, beating Avengers Endgame.
Wow. Whoa. That's crazy.
Because it's an average, right? So like only 4 theaters had it.
Yeah. But still.
But so there are more theaters that had Avengers.
Had like a lot
so the
more.
Average, but still.
But the ratio of like, even though there's only 4 theaters, like the amount, because I tell you, I just watched it by myself. The movie theater was packed.
Yeah.
You know, normally like if I expected there's going to be a couple seats open, I don't care. I will sit wherever seat I want to sit in a movie theater. So I just sat at a random. I sat in a random seat.
And someone was like, "This is my seat."
There was a couple who was like, "I'm sorry, this is my seat." This like the movie had just started already. I'm like, "Yo, everybody's taking their seat." They literally shined like a flashlight.
Yeah.
And like, "Oh, sorry, it's my seat." I was like, "Seriously?"
Yeah, it's weird that movie theaters require you to sit in like assigned seating now.
I mean, I get it because especially when it's but I didn't expect it to be that packed.
It's packed.
I went there a little bit earlier. There was like an extra space. By the time the movie started, I think almost every single seat was filled.
Yeah, mine
crazy.
too. Yeah, I watched it with my mom. Yeah.
I was happy. I was so happy, and like.
Yeah.
I was watching a film. The dude sitting next to me had his popcorn. The girl sitting next to me had her drink. And this is one moment where like everybody was just silent. I hear the dude next to me like.
Oh yeah, there was a lot of sniffling.
Know, I was like, girl next to me was like. Oh, it was a beautiful moment, and I just remember after the movie ended and the lights came up, I was like, like everybody still was feeling the emotions and everything. I was just like, hey, do you want some tissues?
Yeah.
And she's like, nah, it's okay. It's like, thank you for letting me like switch seats with you. I was like, no, we're here to just enjoy the movie. It's everybody was just like, yeah, like, I think maybe people reflect upon life. It's the type of movie that makes you want to call your like family, for sure. You know, I was like, dang, like. Yeah. This especially hits home for me because my grandma just passed away like in December of like this of 2018, and kind of like, and she had like a slow progression of in the death, and but like not like it was Alzheimer's, so it was like a couple of years, and like we all knew about it, but it was just so like that moment when I was like, oh my God, like I just cried my eyes out just because like I just saw myself and I saw the family in it. I'm like, man, I can't cry right now.
Go see it because there's the ending was not what I expected.
Ending was not what I expected.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll leave it at that.
Can't wait to see what you know Lulu decides to write next. This is, I think, only her second big feature.
I think so.
Her sophomore feature.
Hey, Lulu, you killing it though.
Can't wait to see what Awkwafina does next.
Time out.
All the other actors as well.
Yeah. All of them.
I really loved Diana Lynn as Billy's mom. She was really amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was great. She was so spot on.
Yeah.
Character was so funny too.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, that's it for today.
That's it for today, guys.
Tune in next week.
Yeah.
I think next week we're finally doing the chicken. I know I said that last week, but we had some complications. But I think next week we're gonna do it.
Next week we're gonna do it. If there are any other topics you specifically want us to talk about, let us know in the comments.
You can slide into our DMs at CHINOSITY or
CHINOSITY News.
Rob Chen here. Oh, he's CHINOSITY News on Instagram. Sorry.
CHINOSITY's on Instagram.
Rob Chen here.
On Instagram.
Christina May Chen.
On Instagram.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, hit us up. Let us know your thoughts.
Have a great week.
Take care. 再见.
Other hand.
This always happens.
I know. Well, we try that one. It might work. You know, since that was good. Just not safe. Nope.
Oh, that fucked up. You know what? You gotta look at the elbow.
Okay. Nice.